Welcome to today's lesson on quadrilateral angles. Today we're going to be discussing how you can find the measurement of an angle on different quadrilaterals. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to begin today by discussing what a quadrilateral is. A quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. We have an example on our screen. As you can see, this quadrilateral has four sides, which means it also has four angles. And that's what we're going to focus on today, is how we can find the measurements of these four angles. So let's go ahead and start by identifying the four angles in this quadrilateral. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different angles on this quadrilateral. Now that we've discussed the four angles on the quadrilateral, we need to discuss what the sum of all of these angles will be. Now, just like a triangle's angles will always equal 180 degrees, a quadrilateral's angles will always equal 360 degrees. That's right, just like a circle. A circle has a measurement of 360 degrees. So we're going to use this information to see how each of these angles can actually build a circle. So we're going to be starting with our red angle. And we're going to take our red angle and we're actually going to move it over here so that we can see how it fits into a circle. So I have my red angle, and now I'm going to take my green angle and I'm going to move that next to my red angle. Now that I have my green angle, I'm going to add a blue angle. As you can see, I'm building a circle. And we're going to see how each of these measurements will contribute to 360 degrees. And lastly, I have my pink angle. And my pink angle is going to fit perfectly in this last spot. Now, of course, I need to have a circle, because this circle is going to show that all of these angles added together will equal 360 degrees. Let's go ahead and talk about measurements, because now we're able to visually see how they fit, but where do the numbers fit in? Let's take a look. Our green angles measure 115 degrees. Our blue angle measures 65 degrees. Our red angle measures 70 degrees. And our pink angle measures 110 degrees. Now, as you can see, if we add all of these measurements up together, we get 360 degrees. And we can also see that because we added all of these angles together, which equaled a perfect circle, which is 360 degrees. Let's stop and think. Why is this important? Well, if we know that the sum of all four angles on a quadrilateral will always equal 360 degrees, that means that we can always find the missing angle as long as we have the three remaining measurements. Let's go ahead and take a look at two different ways that you can find this missing angle. We are going to begin by trying to find the missing measurement for angle X. Now, before we can begin, we need to remember that the sum of all four angles in this quadrilateral is going to be equal to 360 degrees. So the first way that we're going to find the measurement of angle X is by adding our three known angles and then subtracting from our whole. So let's go ahead and start by adding 105 degrees plus 60 degrees. When I add 105 degrees plus 60 degrees, that gives me a total of 165 degrees. So now we have to add our third angle. But wait a minute, this is a square, this isn't a number. Well, when we're dealing with angles, we need to remember that a square in the corner of an angle will always represent 90 degrees. So I'm going to fill in my third angle as 90 degrees. And when we add 165 degrees plus 90 degrees, we get 255 degrees. So that's the sum of these three angles. So now we're going to subtract 255 degrees from our whole, and that's going to give us our missing angle X. When I subtract 255 degrees from 360 degrees, I get 105 degrees, which means the value of x is equal to 105 degrees. Our first strategy started by adding our 3 known angles and then subtracting our 3 angles from our whole to give us our missing value. Our second strategy that we're going to work with is going to be starting with our whole, which is 360 degrees, and subtracting each of the values until we're left with x. So I'm going to start by subtracting 107 degrees from our whole, which is 360 degrees. When I subtract 107 degrees from 360 degrees, I get a value of 253 degrees. So now I'm ready to subtract my next angle. I'm going to subtract 80 degrees. When I subtract 80 degrees from 253 degrees, I get 173 degrees. And now I'm ready to continue subtracting and subtract 46 degrees. When I subtract 46 degrees from 173 degrees, I get a value of 127 degrees. And that's going to be my missing value. X has a value of 127 degrees. And I can always check my work by adding all of these known values to see if it equals 360 degrees. Let's work on a word problem together. Finn works at the local park. He just bought 4 sprinklers to keep the grass watered. Finn wants to put 1 sprinkler in each corner of the park. Each sprinkler can rotate up to 100 degrees. Will his sprinklers cover the entire park? Well, we have a diagram of our park right here, and we have 3 known angles. So first, we need to find the value of our missing angle, x. So let's go ahead and let's add up the value of these 3 angles and then subtract from 360 degrees. I'm going to start with 98 degrees. I need to add 98 degrees plus 86 degrees. When I add these 2 angles together, that gives me a measurement of 184 degrees. So now I'm ready to add my third angle. 184 degrees plus 82 degrees has a value of 266 degrees. So now that I know the value of these 3 angles combined, I can subtract from our whole to find the value of x. 360 degrees minus 266 degrees is going to give us a value of 94 degrees. And that's going to be the value of x, our missing angle. Since our missing angle is only 94 degrees and is less than 100 degrees, we know that Finn's sprinklers will be able to cover each angle of the park because none of our angles are larger than 100 degrees. Let's review what you've learned in today's lesson. A quadrilateral is a 4-sided polygon. The sum of all 4 angles in a quadrilateral will always equal 360 degrees. In order to find the missing measurement of an angle in a quadrilateral, you can either add the sum of the 3 known angles and then subtract from your whole, which is 360 degrees, or you can continually subtract each measurement from your whole, which will give you your missing angles measurement.